Welcome back to Tales of the Haunted Wind, where the shadows speak and we listen. If you enjoy true terror, unsettling encounters, and stories that make you check the corners of your room, don't forget to follow and subscribe for more nightly chills. Tonight's story was sent to us by Jack, age 32, from Cleveland, Ohio. Jack used to work as a janitor at an old elementary school, a place that held more than just chalk dust and forgotten memories. This is his story. My name is Jack, and I never believed in ghosts. Not even when I was a kid, but that changed in the winter of 2021, when I worked the night shift as a janitor at an old elementary school. The school was built in the 1950s, and it looked even older. Its brick walls were cracked. The hallways always smelled faintly of mildew, and the lights flickered no matter how many times the district fixed them. I was hired because no one else wanted the job. I thought it was because of the late hours, but in my first week, I learned the real reason. It was my third night. I was mopping the hallway outside the second-grade classrooms when I heard something unsettling. It sounded like children laughing, not playful. Laughter this was soft, distant, echoing, like it came from the end of the hallway. But the building was empty. I turned off my mop bucket's squeaky wheels and listened. There it was again. A faint giggle, then another. Then the sound of tiny footsteps running across old tiles. "Hello?" I called out. The laughter stopped. A few seconds later, one of the classroom doors slowly creaked open. I stepped inside. The room was dark, but the faint light from the hallway revealed the rows of desks. Everything looked normal, except for one thing. All the chairs were pulled away from the desks, as if a group of kids had just stood up at once. I backed out and closed the door. I tried to tell myself someone had left them like that earlier, but my shift lead later confirmed the teachers always pushed the chairs in at the end of the day. That was the moment I realized this school wasn't just old and creepy. Something else was inside it. A week later, I was cleaning the cafeteria when I saw her for the first time. I heard the sound of something tapping, like a pencil lightly hitting a table. When I looked up, I saw a little girl sitting alone at one of the long lunch tables. Her hair was shoulder-length and dark. She wore a faded yellow dress, completely out of place for winter. She was tapping the table with a finger. Tap, tap, tap. I froze. "Hey, are you lost?" I asked. She didn't respond. She didn't even look at me. I took a step closer. "Are you supposed to be here?" She slowly lifted her head. Her eyes were pitch black. No iris. No whites. Just black. Then she vanished. Not ran away. Not slipped out of view. She blinked out like a bad TV signal. I dropped the trash bag I was holding and left the cafeteria without picking it up. That night, I didn't finish my shift. The school had a basement. I wasn't supposed to go down there. No one was. The administration said it was unsafe. Old structure, water damage, whatever. But 2 nights after seeing the girl, I heard a heavy knocking from the basement door. 3 knocks. Slow. Deliberate. I tried to ignore it, but as I cleaned the nearby hallway, the knocking grew louder. Then I heard a voice, a little girl. "Help, please. Help me." My blood went cold. It was the same voice from the cafeteria. Part of me wanted to run. The other part, foolish, curious, reached for the basement doorknob. It was ice cold. When I opened it, a wave of freezing air hit me so hard it took my breath away. The basement was pitch black, not dark black, like light couldn't enter it. For a moment, I just stood there, staring. "Tente?" Girl's voice whispered again, but this time it was were beside my ear. "Don't let him find me. Ispun harund." No one was there. The basement door slammed shut on its own, hard enough to rattle the walls. I quit early again that night. The next day, I confronted the school secretary, an older woman named Ms. Lorne who'd been there for decades. I told her everything. She sighed, took off her glasses, and rubbed her eyes. "You're not the first to hear things," she said. "You're not the first to see her." My stomach clenched. "Who is she?" She hesitated before answering. Her name was Emily. She went missing in 1982. Last seen near the basement stairs. They never found her. Some people think she fell. Others think someone lured her down there. Someone? I asked. She nodded. The man who worked as the maintenance supervisor back then. He was arrested for other things, but they could never prove he took Emily. I swallowed hard. And the basement. Closed since the investigation. I asked the question burning in my mind. Why keep the school open if things like this happen? She looked at me with tired, haunted eyes. Because she's never hurt anyone. She's trapped, and she's scared. That didn't make me feel better. Not even close. I should have quit. No, that. But I needed the money, and I convinced myself it was just my imagination. Until the last night. I was cleaning the main hallway when the lights overhead began to flicker violently. Then the loudspeaker system dead for years crackled to life. A child's voice whispered through it. He's coming. Every hair on my body stood up. Then, at the end of the hallway, I saw the silhouette of a man. Tall, broad-shouldered, standing unnaturally still. I blinked, and he stepped closer. Not walked, just appeared closer, like reality skipped a frame. Then again, and again. Flicker. He was 20 feet away. Flicker. 10 feet. Flicker, he was right in front of me. I couldn't see his face. It was a shifting blur, like static. He raised his hand, reaching toward my throat. Before he could touch me, a small figure darted between us. The girl, Emily. She looked at me with those black, hollow eyes and shook her head. Everything went dark. I woke up outside, on the grass. The custodian door behind me was locked. My keys were still inside the building. I never went back for them. I quit the next morning. A week later, the school made the news. A structural inspection revealed the basement was completely unstable, and hidden behind a collapsed wall. They found something. A small yellow dress. The same one the girl had worn. They never found anything else. No bones. No remains. But I know what I saw. And I know she saved my life. Sometimes, when the wind is still, I swear I can hear faint tapping. Like a child tapping her finger on a lunch table. I think she's still trapped in that school. Still scared. Still waiting. And whatever she was hiding from, I pray it never finds her again. If you enjoyed Jack's terrifying encounter, make sure to subscribe to Tales of the Haunted Wind for more stories from the darkness. And remember, some places aren't abandoned. They're waiting. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe for more creepy tales.